Hello, Kurt Jackson with KJ Financial here again. Welcome to the fourth episode in our first module where we're talking about the inefficiencies of traditional financial planning as part of our Retirement Accelerator Blueprint. And number 4 is called Sequence of Returns. Sequence of returns are a significant risk to your retirement, and most people have never heard of it, and even fewer understand what it is. So what are sequence of returns, and why are they significant? So one thing we make sure everybody understands is nobody, and I mean nobody, knows what the market is going to do. Some may try to make you think they do, but they don't. Some may guess and get it right on very rare occasions, but nobody knows what the market's going to do. Not knowing what order and which future market returns will come, also known as sequence of returns, creates significant risks and potentially even bigger problems for us. So sequence of returns can have a significant impact on your ability to build wealth over time, but more importantly, it can make or break your retirement when you're withdrawing money to create your retirement paycheck. You had a peek at how sequence of returns impacts your ability to build wealth in our episode about market losses and average returns versus actual returns. How about we run 3 different hypothetical scenarios based on real-world results to share the power of sequence of return risk when it comes to creating that monthly retirement paycheck. So hypothetically, we're going to assume you've got $1 million. You're retiring at the age of 65 with your money in the S&P 500, including dividends. We're going to bump up inflation just a little bit to 3% and paying 1.5% in annual fees. We're going to assume withdrawing traditional planning's 4% withdrawal rate, annually adjusting it up for our assumed 3% annual inflation rate. Now remember, our data ends at the conclusion of 2022. So in our traditional planning's good sequence of returns hypothetical scenario, we're going to begin January 1st of 1998. That's 2 years before the dot-com crash. And at the age of 89, 25 years was all the further our data took us out. So you would have received a total of $1,458,371. So those 2 years before the dot-com crash were big years up in the market. Okay, so that turned it into a good sequence of returns. Your $40,000 income would have grown to $81,312 from age 65 to age 89. To help keep up with assumed 3% inflation, there was still $501,777 remaining in your traditional planning's retirement account. It's a pretty good situation if you were to live past age 89, right? Still having some money left over. Next traditional planning scenario is the OK sequence of returns. So let's say your 1 year younger sibling retires January 1st, 1999 with the same exact scenario as yours. They would have run out of money at age 87 in about 7 months because they had $37,218 left at the end of their 86th year. So about 7 months worth of income at age 87. They would have received $1,260,897 in lifetime income. Their income started at $40,000 and grew to $76,644 at age 87. What would they have done if they lived past age 87 in 7 months and they had run out of money? Assume they've got Social Security still left, but that would be all, unless they somehow had a pension, right? So next, traditional planning scenario is the bad sequence of returns. So let's say your 2 year younger sibling retires January 1st, 2000. This is the beginning of the dot-com crash, so they're going to face 3 down years at the beginning of their retirement. So how big of a difference do you think that would make? They would have run out of money in their 83rd year. They have about $24,537 left at the end of age 82. So their total income received was about $961,114. What would they have done if they lived past age 83 in about 4 months? But wait a minute. Didn't they only receive $961,114 in retirement income? I'm confused because wasn't their beginning balance $1 million? So doesn't that mean not only did they run out of money about age 83 in 4 months, they also didn't even get all their $1 million back? Does that sound like a very efficient retirement income plan? So all 3 scenarios started with the same assumptions. The only difference was the start date, their retirement date. Starting in 98 gave you 2 years of big gains, 28.68%, 21.13%. That included dividends before 3 down years thanks to the dot-com crash. Starting in 99 gave your younger sibling 1 good year up 21.13%. before 3 years of losses hit, and then starting in 2000 gave your youngest sibling 0 good years and 3 bad years to start their retirement. I mean, starting in 2000, you didn't know it was going to go down, right? So can you see how big of a risk sequence of returns can be to your retirement income and thus your retirement? So face it, nobody knows what's going to happen to market returns in the future. So aren't we all subjected to this sequence of return risk, especially when we go into retirement trying to live off the money that we've saved? So is there a better alternative? Well, you tell me if these could be better. So hypothetically, let's assume that these same 3 scenarios, except the money is in a financial vehicle following an alternative plan, which is not in the S&P 500, but it is linked to the S&P 500 with the following characteristics. The vehicle not only protects the $1 million from losses, it locks in any gains up to 13% of the S&P 500 without dividends on an annual basis. So if the index is up 15%, you're credited 13%. If it's up 5%, you're credited with 5%. If there's a loss, you lose nothing. Zero's your hero. Call this the annual reset. And there are no fees to drag down your retirement account balance. So using the same income and inflation assumptions, as well as the 4% beginning withdrawal rate adjusted up for inflation, in the 1998 example, at the end of age 89, this plan received the same $1,458,371 in income, but it still had $2,129,525 remaining in the account. Remember, this is our good sequence of returns. That's not a typo. Isn't that a full $1,627,748 more than being in the traditional planning's market-based example? Started with $1 million, still got well over $1 million. You got 2.129 million. Which scenario would you have rather had with the good sequence of returns? So in the 1999 hypothetical example, during age 87, when the other scenario ran out of money, you would have received the full $1,298,115 in income through the end of age 87, plus still had $1,857,595 remaining in the retirement account. Isn't that up on the traditional planning's market-based scenario by $1,943,898? Which scenario would you have rather had during the OK sequence of returns? In the 2000 bad sequence of returns hypothetical example, after age 82, when the other scenario ran out of money, you would have received, or your youngest sibling would have received the full $1,002,260 in income through the age of 82, plus still had $1,265,103 in the account. Doesn't that mean it was a full $1,306,251 ahead of the traditional planning's market-based scenario, and you weren't out of money? Which scenario would you have rather had? So didn't all 3 of our alternative scenarios provide much more safety if you lived longer? Could you have maybe taken more income out to better your lifestyle? Do you think rising healthcare costs or long-term care costs might have been able to be paid from these additional funds if you needed it? Maybe it's important to leave money to your loved ones or a favorite cause. Could you have implemented a strategy where you took more income, bought some life insurance to replenish the extra money you spent, to leave more behind to your loved ones? Wouldn't that be the best of both worlds? So are you beginning to see how our Retirement Accelerator blueprint does things more efficiently, with more safety, and creates more certainty? Couldn't the same have been accomplished with less money if you wanted a little better lifestyle while you were living? Could you have retired earlier? Could you have reinvested some of that extra money into a plan that would have guaranteed you could have left even more money to your legacy to help your kids, your grandkids, maybe even your great-grandkids? Wouldn't the alternative scenarios give you more control and more options? Well, that's it for this episode. We'll click on the video below to see the power and efficiency of being able to lock in your gains every year or two.